Guidelines for proper usage of Internet. Internet security can be guaranteed by practicing the following aspects. The Internet is the world's largest library. We can find information on almost any subject from science, mathematics and technology to language, art, history, current events and more. When we use information, photos and other materials that we find on the Internet in our homework or research project, make sure that we want to identify the sources of the information. Downloading software can also be very useful, but can also cause disruption to the PC. Always consider the following. Check the source. Is the program from a reputable company? Visit their website, run their name in Google and see what comes. If it is good quality, legitimate software, there is often articles about it from other users. Always use a virus scanner. You should always ensure that your virus scanner is running and updated before downloading software. If you do not continue to use it, uninstall it. Fake spyware removal tools. There are a number of fake software removal tools that are currently available for download. These applications appear to provide the user with the ability to function, remove unwanted programs from your PC, but are in fact just malware themselves. Internet policy. A common trick used by websites to imitate Windows messages which look like genuine and can be very convincing. When the user clicks on the Yes button, software is downloaded and installed into the user's PC. It is this software that can cause problems with the system. Simply close the windows, use the cross in the top right corner. Any other button may activate the software. Suspect sites. There are many websites where you can learn about music by listening to sample tracks, preview movie videos and learn about new computer games. It is very tempting to visit sites which are amusing or offering something for nothing. Great care should be taken when visiting these sites as they are most often the source of malware problems. Examples of websites which may pose a problem are pornographic sites, free software, joke sites, etc. Peer-to-peer software P2P. Peer-to-peer software like BearShare, eDonkey, etc. allows a user to share and download files, usually music, videos and software. The risk factors are P2P software can often come with lot of malware installed which will interfere with your PC. It works by sharing data from your PC to all the other users. This is a huge security risk if it is not configured carefully. Downloading can take a huge amount of bandwidth and slow down the internet for everybody. They will often run in the background and continue to share data and use bandwidth even if you are not actively downloading. Many of the files downloaded will be breaking copyright law, leaving you and your company open to prosecution. Copyright laws are intended to encourage current and future creation of artistic works by protecting the rights of the original creator to enjoy the potential of financial gain resulting from their efforts. Guidelines for proper usage of internet banking and online shopping. Internet banking or to shop online has to be a personal one, but it has been subject to a lot of scaremongering which is untrue and can be quite safe. On October 12, 2005, the FFIEC agencies issued guidance entitled Authentication in an Internet Banking Environment 2005 guidance. The 2005 guidance provided a risk management framework for financial institutions offering internet-based products and services to their customers. It stated that institutions should use effective methods to authenticate the identity of customers and that the techniques employed should be commensurate with the risks associated with the products and services offered and the protection of sensitive customer information. The 2005 guidance also provided that institutions should perform periodic risk assessments and adjust their control mechanisms as appropriate in response to changing internal and external threats. If you do decide to use the systems, there are some helpful tips to safeguard yourself, but you must understand that it is your decision to take this risk. Guidelines for proper internet banking. Online personal transactions involve accessing account information, bill payment, ticket booking, intra-bank funds transfer and occasional interbank funds transfer or wire transfers. The frequency and amounts of these transactions are lower than commercial transactions, hence pose a comparatively lower level of risk. Financial institutions should implement layered security as described herein, consistent with the risk for covered consumer transactions. Layered security is characterized by the use of different controls at different points in a transaction process so that a weakness in one control is generally compensated for by the strength of a different control. Layered security can substantially strengthen the overall security of internet-based services and be effective in protecting sensitive customer information, preventing identity theft and reducing account takeovers and the resulting financial losses. Internet banking precautions. 1. Choose a long and complicated password which should be at least 10 characters having upper and lower case, letters, numbers and symbols. Never write this password down or tell it to anyone. 2. Understand your liability. Check with your bank what would happen if somebody used your card online. Are you liable? Confirm that the bank or financial institution is providing layered security to protect customer information and prevent identity theft. 3. Don't use a public PC. If you use a PC in a public place, there is a chance that it is recording your keystrokes or saving passwords which could be used at a later date. 4. Log out and close. When you have finished using your bank's website, click the log out button to end the session and close the browser. Guidelines for proper shopping on internet online. Take recommendations. A recommendation from a friend or colleague who has purchased a lot from the site earlier. Search for the company if you are planning to spend. Put their name into Google and see if they have good or bad press. Shop around. It is a common misconception that shopping online is always cheaper. This is simply not true all of the time, but it certainly can be if you shop around. Consider a separate credit card. Some banks offer credit cards with extra internet protection, or you could get a card with a very small limit just in case the worst happens. Understand your liability. Check with your bank what would happen if somebody used your card online. Are you liable? Health issues related with mobile phone radiation. Cellular energy is now used for protection rather than metabolism. Cell membranes harden, keeping nutrients out and waste products in. Cause blood cells to leak hemoglobin. Waste accumulating inside the cells creates a higher concentration of free radicals, leading to both disruption of DNA repair and cellular dysfunction. Unwanted cell death occurs, releasing the micronuclei from the disrupted DNA repair into the fluid between cells where they are free to replicate and proliferate. This is the most likely mechanism that contributes to cancer. Damage occurs to proteins on the cell membrane, resulting in disruption of intercellular communication. When cells can't communicate with each other, the result is impaired tissue, organ and organism function. In the blood-brain barrier, for example, cells can't keep dangerous chemicals from reaching the brain tissue, which result in damage. Cause memory loss and mental confusion, cause headaches and induce extreme fatigue, create joint pain, muscle spasms and tremors, create burning sensation and rash on the skin, alter the brain's electrical activity during sleep, precipitate cataracts, retina damage and eye cancer, open the blood-brain barrier to viruses and toxins, reduce the number and efficiency of white blood cells, stimulate asthma by producing histamine in mast cells, cause digestive problems and raise bad cholesterol levels, stress the endocrine system especially pancreas, thyroid, ovaries, testes. Guidelines for proper usage of mobile phones. Limit use to essential calls and keep calls short. Even a 2-minute call has been found to alter the natural electrical activity of the brain for up to an hour afterwards. Don't use mobile phones more than 6 minutes per day. And side effects such as headaches and dizziness have been observed after calls as short as 2 minutes. Children should be allowed to use the cell phone in case of emergency only. Because of their developing skulls, the radiation can penetrate much more deeply. Their skulls are thinner and smaller. Children absorb much greater amounts of radiation than mobile phone using adults do also, as they are at a greater risk of developing serious side effects because the cumulative lifetime exposure will be greater. Wear an air tube headset, not a regular wired headset. The regular wired headset has been found to intensify radiation into the ear canal. The wire transmits not only the radiation from the cell phone, but also serves as an antenna attracting EMFs or electromagnetic fields from the surroundings. Don't put the cell phone in your pocket or belt while in use or while it is on. The body tissue in the lower body area has good conductivity and absorbs radiation more quickly than the head. If your phone is turned on and worn on your belt or in a pocket, you could be receiving a constant blast of radiation from the battery pack, which usually faces your body. Another blast occurs when you get a call. Because electromagnetic field exposure diminishes rapidly beyond 3 feet, those around you can also be impacted. One study shows that men who wear cell phones near their groin could have their sperm count dropped by as much as 30%. If using the phone without a headset, wait for the call to connect before placing the phone next to the ear. Do not use the cell phone in enclosed metal spaces such as vehicles or elevators, where devices may use more power to establish connection. The metal enclosure also acts as a Faraday cage that traps the radiation and reflects it back onto the occupants. Do not make a call when the signal strength is 1 bar or less, which means the phone must work harder to establish a connection. When handling a weak signal, the phone increases power to a maximum, producing more radiation. If you struggle to get a signal or tend to drop calls in a certain area, such as commonly in elevators, buses, cars and other enclosed spaces, you could be irradiating you and those around you. Purchase a phone with SAR or specific absorption rate less than 1. The specific absorption rate level is a way of measuring the quantity of radio frequency energy that is absorbed by the body. Use a scientifically validated electromotive force protection device. There are advanced technologies available nowadays that strengthen your bioenergy field and immune system against the effects of electromotive force.